Good morning. I am back once again. How you all doing out there? Welcome back to the Murami podcast for another episode. Unleashed, of course, as always. Welcome back to the Murami podcast for a Tuesday's edition of the programme. Hope you've all had a great weekend. Hope you all are all doing well out there. And plenty to talk about as always here on the programme today. A little bit worse for the wear today. A little bit tired this morning. Didn't get a good night's sleep again last night, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? You just have to get up and get on with it. It's part of life. But yes, guys, welcome back to this Tuesday edition of the podcast. Hope you all are doing very well out there. I got a load of questions from you as always today to answer, which I'm going to answer some of as best as I can later on here in the episode. But yes, I hope you all had a great weekend there, guys. I had a pretty okay weekend, apart from the weather being completely crap as usual. Miserable weekend of weather. Rain, and more bloody rain. So yeah, my weekend consisted of rain, travelling, bus journeys, defeat in football, crazy Liverpool result of the weekend as well, which I don't normally will get much into it, to be quite honest with you, even though a lot of you have been contacting me about it and asking me what my view on it is. I've only seen the highlights of the game. I actually haven't seen the full game because I was away with football. But yeah, it's been one of those weekends. So it has. So, but anyway, yes. Hello. Where should I start today? I've got quite a few things I want to talk about today on the podcast. A lot of you have been getting in touch with me about the new iPhone 15, which I'm just about to drop a vlog today on. My search for an iPhone 15 when I was in Liverpool last week. Just quite a few things we'll talk about today. Somebody's been getting in touch with me as well about all different subjects. Seen a few things today popping up as well. Do you know when you see things like famous things from TV shows and movies and stuff like that? There are just two particular things that popped up in the news in the last sort of 2 or 3 days that's been a bit of an interest. So, celebrity items going up for sale. We'll talk about things like that today as well. Also, I saw a pretty funny thing happen on the BBC. BBC, not that I watch it, but it was brought to my attention. It was sent to me on Instagram yesterday. Also, guys, as well, I've even seen this happen to a personal friend of mine. A lot of people are complaining about being abroad recently, and a lot of illnesses that are being caused by certain things that are happening, causing rashes and vomiting spreads, and obviously illnesses. This personally happened to a friend of mine recently by being abroad. I'm going to talk about that today as well on the podcast too, and obviously get into all your questions and tell you a few stories and stuff like that, as I always do here on this Tuesday. So yeah, guys, I'm just sort of sitting here this morning. I actually came on this podcast this morning unprepared. I was sitting last night and I finally got a bit of time to myself last night for about after a chaotic day yesterday. I mean, I was non-stop yesterday. And I finally got an hour to myself last night. And I sat down, had a cup of tea late last night, and I thought, right, I got a podcast to record tomorrow. What for the love of fucking Pete am I going to be talking about tomorrow? And honestly, I just think, what the hell am I going to talk about tomorrow? I haven't got a clue. I haven't done any research over the weekend. I haven't done very much over the weekend. Obviously being busy and stuff, but so I even had a conversation with Burke last night saying, like, geez, Burke, I've got a podcast to record tomorrow and I don't even know what I want to talk about. And Burke's like, Dad, you can talk for Britain, just talk away. And I was like, right, well, that's okay, fair enough. But yeah, guys, it's been a bit of one of those weekends. You know, you'd know now that it's now coming in the October time, autumn time, the weather's starting to change. It's getting colder, it's getting wetter, it's getting more miserable, and honestly, we saw that at the weekend. Lewis and I were away to just on the outskirts of Portadown here in Northern Ireland for football the weekend. I actually posted a TikTok last night on my TikTok account. Which I'll give you a wee plug in just a wee second, guys. We can go out there. We were away at the weekend there, but it was just miserable weather. Miserable weather. You just know it's coming into the winter now because it's just crap. So it is, but before I get any more stories, I should have actually done this at the very start of the podcast. This is how disorganised I am today on this podcast. I'm sort of like going, right, I'll just shoot from the hip and just talk crap for the next however time it is going to be. So you gotta bear with me, guys. Very lack of sleep. I've only had 2 coffees this morning. I think I may have another one by lunchtime. Anyway, yes, guys. If you're if you're wanting to get in contact with me here on the program for any questions or any suggestions for the show, you can do that by the following methods. As always, if you're new to this podcast for the first time, or if you are a regular listener, you can get in touch with me by the following methods. First of all, the old social media, which I love reading all your messages, by the way. First of all, Facebook, which is the Mirror Army YouTube channel Facebook page, which, if you don't know, I've been on YouTube for the last 7 years. That's the Facebook fan page. You can send us a message on there. You can check out all the photographs and pictures and video links and things like that on there. Drop a wee like on that page for us, guys. Would appreciate it. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on X, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not on there. Even though people ask me all the time, are you sure you're not on Twitter? No. I'm not on there, guys, so you'll not find me on there. Unlike some people who decide to think that I still am on there, even though I'm not. If you want to follow me on Instagram, official Matthew Moore on Instagram, you can contact me on there, which a lot of you do. You can find me on Threads, but I still haven't posted on that Threads at all. I'm not really a big fan of it, to be honest with you. It's basically like Instagram, isn't it? I'm on there anyway if you want to follow me. Official Matthew Moore on Threads as well. I'm now on TikTok as well, guys. Official Matthew Moore on TikTok as well. I just posted a wee video there late last night of our wee trip at the weekend there to the football. You want to go on there and check it out. But put a wee clip up there from our live reaction video last week on TikTok, and it's doing quite good reviews and stuff. So, guys, thank you very much for everybody who shared that and liked that there from Lewis and I reaction to the Liverpool game last week. Not the Tottenham game, the one before. Yes, you can follow me on there, or you can contact the show via the email, which is moorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. That's moorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. You can contact me on there, guys. I would love to hear from you all, as always, too. Also, finally, if you want to get all your Mirror Army merchandise, you want to get some of your t-shirts, hoodies for the winter, mugs, jigsaw puzzles are doing now for us, Jesus, posters, everything you can do on there for the Mirror Army. We're going to be releasing some possibly Halloween gear this week, because I got a couple of wee samples sent to me there on Sunday, which I'm actually really happy with. So maybe release some Halloween merch if anybody's interested in it. Also, we're going to be doing the Christmas merch too as well soon. I know Christmas is not that far away, but no, we're not like retail stores where we put our stuff out at the end of fucking July. We're not like Little Hero on the Mirror Army. Yeah, it's basically, you can get all the stuff from the Mirror Army, which should be the podcast, the videos from YouTube, all the stuff, all one big hub. All our social media pictures are all straight on that website too as well. Get your merch as well on mirrorarmy.co.uk. And by the way, before saying anything else, I put it in social media over the weekend that we were doing a free postage weekend there for you guys, and a lot of you took advantage of it, so happy days. I'm glad to see you all took advantage of the free postage weekend. Stay tuned to my social media for any more upcoming offers that we're going to be doing for the store, whether it be free postage or so much off or whatever. Stay tuned to mirrorarmy.co.uk. Right, done. How was my weekend? Wow. Well, Saturday. Usual for Lewis and I. Up the football and away we go. Went down to a little club called Anna United, who are in this Championship Second Division, which is the second tier of football here in Northern Ireland. Bit of a smaller ground. The BMG Arena is called. Great wee club. Great people there at that club as well. Always very welcoming. Every time we play against them down there. Bit of a tough place to go, to be quite honest with you. We always find it quite difficult going down there. It's a bit of a tight pitch and it's difficult surroundings. It's a 4G pitch, but it's an older 4G pitch, and it's just a hard place to go and even get a point. I think the last time we got a win down there was about, what, I would say about 2-3 years ago maybe. I went down there on Saturday hoping we were going to get some type of result, and we didn't. We got beat 2-1, which is a bit crap, to be honest. The weather was shite. It was just miserable. It was wet. It was cold. But here's the thing that pissed me off, though. When we were leaving the house that morning to go to Belfast to meet the team to go down on the team bus, I said to Lewis that morning, Lewis, it's supposed to be like really sticky and muggy today, 19 degrees or whatever it is. Now, if there's a bit of rain, I'll be in the stand anyway, so I'll not get wet. So I'll just wear my tracksuit from football and my body warmer with no arms on it. Because I was going to take my full hoodie with me. I thought, nah, what a fucking mistake that was. As the afternoon went on, the temperature just kept dropping and dropping and dropping, and I was just like, right. But it wasn't too bad, because I'm used to being out in the cold, guys. I've been doing that for about 13, 14 years now, and also when I was a lot younger, my early years, I used to work outdoors quite a lot too as well, when I was really, really young, so I'm kind of used to like the cold weather. It doesn't bother me. Lewis was complaining he was cold. Just typical teenager. But yeah, it was a horrible, wet, gloomy day. You know, I did a wee TikTok video on it. We can see a few wee highlights of that there. So I'm going to my TikTok page and you can check out that wee video. It's available now to watch. It was just a horrible day, guys. I was just so glad to get home. I was just tired and I wanted to come home. And after Saturday night, I ended up going to bed, and it was just, I wasn't feeling 100%, to be honest with you as well. So it was just one of those things. Sunday was a bit of a quiet day for us as well. It was a bit crazy, so it was at the weekend. It was crazy. Now I'm going to talk for about a minute or two here about wrestling again. So if you're not a big wrestling fan, flick through for the next couple of seconds, because we want to be talking about that, because you all know I'm a big wrestling fan, so I want to talk about that in a wee second. So if you want to flick forward for a minute or two until I stop talking about this, you can do that right now. But anyway, holy shit, wrestling fans out there, Adam Copeland is now part of AEW. He joined AEW on Sunday night. He appeared at their pay-per-view Wrestle Dream, which was just insane. We all kind of knew he made a jump ship, but the fact that he actually did was just insane. And you know, so I tried to watch the start of the event. I passed out in bed, woke up like literally about 5-10 minutes before he debuted, and I'm kind of glad though I got to see it live. I've obviously watched it back on demand again, but fucking hell, like, would you have either said like Adam Copeland was going to jump from a pure pro WWE guy jumping ship to AEW? Like, obviously we've had recent ones in recent years, the likes of Rusev and Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, who was in WWE beforehand, but he was obviously away for a lot of years. Samoa Joe, all these big names that I've came across, but Adam Copeland, or as you probably know, his Edge, I would have never known a million years thought he would ever jump ship, but he did, and he brought his WWE theme with him as well, and he's just basically Edge, but without the name Edge, he's just Adam Copeland, and it's fucking awesome to see, and that's going to hopefully make TV a bit more interesting. In closing, wrestling's going through a bit of a boom phase at the minute again, where it kind of did back in the day, you know, where people are starting to get into it again, people are starting to watch it again, TV ratings are going up, you know, the crowds are starting to get bigger again, bigger arenas starting to fill again. I mean, look at that show me and Lewis were at the other week, or about a month ago, Wembley Stadium, 80,000 people, or so they say, but you know, the boom period's starting to come through again, and it's great to see, and long may continue, because it's starting to get good again. So it is. So, but yes, that was good to see on Sunday night. So yeah, it was good to see him jumping ship. And it should be interesting over the next weeks and months to see how everything pans out. Quite surprised actually with Adam Copeland jumping now at the moment, because of obviously with WrestleMania 40 coming up this year. Thought he might have been on the show itself this year, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. But anyway, I'll not talk about more wrestling, because obviously I don't want to bore people out there. So I don't. So let's get into some of the things that I want to talk about on the podcast today. I'm still feeling a bit groggy this morning. I should have had more coffee before I come on the air today. I'm just feeling a bit sort of, so I am. But yeah, let's start with a funny story. In my opinion, this is a funny story. I had to laugh at this. There was. Now, you all know how I feel. I think it was last week I answered a question about the BBC as well. You were all saying, like, why do I not like the BBC, blah, 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 blah. And I explained to you why. Now, some of you have got back to me with that and saying, you know, your different opinions on it. People are on both sides, you know, agree with me, don't agree with me. And that's what this podcast is about. It's a whole big debate about if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, that's completely fine with me. At the end of the day, it's an open forum, and we can say whatever we want, as long as if you're a little troll who lives in a basement, then you're cut out and blocked and deleted and get rid of. But if you come in with an honest, fair debate, then certainly I'll have a chat with you and I'll talk and I'll answer your questions. Not a problem at all. So anyway, BBC. BBC reporter red faces a furious heckler yells scrap the licence fee in a hijack report. I actually watched this morning. It was sent to me on Instagram by a listener, and I actually laughed. BBC Breakfast was forced to cut off one of it. This is what it says in the report here. BBC Breakfast was forced to cut off one of its reporters prematurely on Tuesday morning. This was actually this morning, when a member of the public hijacked the segment. Reporter Peter Ruddock was speaking to presenter Sally Nugent and John Kay from Manchester Piccadilly Station as they were mulled over the latest developments with HS2. Reports emerged the past day that Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is plotting to scrap the parts of the HS2 initial plans. Right. He was in the middle of his report. So when this heckler jumped in and started shouting about the TV licence fee and more, saying scrap the licence fee, etc., etc. And the faces of the BBC reporters were priceless. And I had to laugh. I mean, okay, I'm not a big fan of people jumping in broadcasts and trying to be a smart arse and stuff, but I actually thought this one was quite funny. And I'm probably going to get hate for this, and I really don't give a shit. I was watching it this morning going, oh my God. Guys, we've talked about this before in the podcast about the licence fee, and a lot of you have come into me saying that the licence fee should be scrapped, and obviously you get the occasional one or two coming in saying it shouldn't be scrapped. I don't understand why, but yeah, it's a bit of an on the fence situation. I mean, my view on it, I think it personally should be scrapped, especially for old age pensioners who are finding it very hard even to fucking live at the minute. Never mind having to pay whatever the hell it is, the 150, 60 quid, whatever it is a year for TV that probably don't even hardly watch. Which I think it's next year. It's actually up for review. I think it's going to be scrapped anyway. I hope the fuck it is scrapped because it's a load of nonsense. But I actually thought that was quite funny this morning. The reporter, just the way he started shouting at him, we'll scrap the fee. I don't even want to play an audio clip of it here on the podcast because I don't want to get done by the BBC for copyright infringement. So, but I thought that was actually quite funny. Moving on, guys. This is a wee story I wanted to talk about this morning, because the reason why I wanted to talk about this today in all seriousness now is because a friend of mine who works in local football with me, and he's a very good friend of Lewis and I's, our friend Mark, recently went away on a holiday abroad and came back like literally, oh fuck, it was hard. It's hard to see. He went away for a few friends for 9 days abroad. Now I don't know exactly what caused this, but when Mark was away, he ended up coming I don't know, he was either bit by something or he caught something out there, but he ended up with violent illnesses for the last, we were there for 8 or 9 days, and the first 2-3 days he was fine, and then the rest of the time he was telling me that he spent in the bathroom violently throwing up and violently diarrhea and sweats and everything else. And Mark ended up losing nearly 2 stone inside a week. Now I don't know why it's possible or not, but I've seen a big difference in Mark since my God, when I saw Mark after his holiday, me and Lewis looked at him and went, holy shit. It's what the hell happened to you? He's just lost so much weight in such a short space of time. And I said to him, I was like, Mark, what the fuck happened to you? And he was like, I just took ill and I just couldn't stop being sick. I couldn't stop going to the bathroom. My whole body just literally was soaked constantly in sweat all day long. Now, since then, come back, he spoke to his GP, and Lewis and I actually ran into him a few days ago. He's probably going to fucking kill me for talking about this in the podcast, but just as a story, I want to talk about it. I was just like, Mark, what the hell happened to you? You just lost so much weight in such a short space of time. And he obviously has seen his doctor. He's feeling a little bit better now. But the reason why I want to talk about this today is there's a story that's come out about obviously people who are travelling to countries like Spain, Italy, France, and other countries have warned that illnesses causes rash and vomiting spreads. And this is what happened to Mark. It says here, people are heading to countries like Spain, Italy, France have been given a health warning. There's like it starts like a real bad fever, spreads into vomit, diarrhea, and it's been going around for the last couple of weeks and months. It's called, I can't even pronounce the name of that. It's a fever, which is transmitted by mosquitoes, and symptoms can present themselves differently in different places. Also, there's another type of virus, something similar to it, going around as well. Most people will experience symptoms such as fever, headaches, sicknesses, rash, and body aches. And this can last for up to 2 weeks. And this is exactly what happened to my friend Mark. I said to Mark, first thing I said to him was, were you bit by something? Or, did you eat something wrong? Or what the hell was the situation? And he says, Matty, I don't know. I actually don't know why I was bit by something. Or, I don't know what it is. Now, as I said, the last time I seen him, he said he was going for blood tests and stuff. I'll probably see him actually tonight, because I'm actually at football tonight, so I'll probably see him at the game tonight, and I'll say to him, but whatever it is, guys, is going around in them countries in a minute. Now, you know me, I talk about this all the time on this podcast, about the mainstream media boosting all this fucking crap about COVID and all these viruses, and this one's coming and that one's coming, and they're trying to scare the shit out of you. Like, guys, I seen this with my own 2 eyes with my friend Mark, and Mark had literally dropped so much weight, and I hadn't seen him in like 2.5 weeks, and the amount of weight that man lost was like fucking frightening. I mean, even Lewis said to me, Dad, what the frick happened to Mark? I was like, I know. He spent the majority of that holiday like throwing up, and the runs, and I mean, he says, Matthew, the sweating was unbelievable. Constantly sweating bucket loads. He says the bed sheets were ringing 3-4 times a day, vomiting all the time, violent vomiting, and diarrhea. Couldn't eat. He was lucky to even keep water down. So the last time I spoke to him, he was away seeing his GP, so hopefully I'll find out more about it today. But just as I saw this story, about going around, and it's obviously come out here today as well, that the most highest cases of this is this sort of, I don't know, it's not even like a flu or a bug, it's just like a virus. In the likes of France and Spain and Germany are really getting hit with it now. And they don't know why it's going to be caused by mosquitoes or just general virus or whatever it is. I don't know. Now, guys, you know me. I always say about these viruses and all this crap about mainstream media ramping things up and up. But whenever I saw Mark, now Mark is no underlying health issues. He's no major problems in his life. But he got that over there when he was abroad with his friends. And he was, I mean, guys, you used to see the difference in him in a matter of 2 weeks. It is fucking frightening. So, guys, if you're travelling abroad soon, like in the next weeks or months or whatever, double check everything before you go. Because you go to different countries and you get like things like malaria and all these different things you can catch it there, and you can get like jabs and stuff like that before you go away and whatnot. But I mean, like, frick me, like, when I saw Mark, it was like, fucking hell, Mark, seriously? So just be careful, guys, when you're out and about and travelling, because it's a scary thing to look at when you see people like that. It really, 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 really is. Guys, another thing I want to talk about today as well is about these new Apple iPhone 15s. Now, a lot of you have been getting on me about that. I talk to you all the time about different phones because people were asking for recommendations about phones, and I was on a hunt there last Monday, which I'm going to put that vlog out today. Last Monday I was on a hunt for an iPhone 15 while in Liverpool. Did I get one? Go and check out the vlog and see. I've heard a lot of different people saying different things about these iPhone 15s over the last few days. Even Lewis has come in to me and went, Dad, look at this video I saw online about these new iPhones, how bad they are. And I'm going, people make up videos like that all the fucking time just to get views and stuff, so you don't know whether it's true or not. Now, I've held an iPhone 15 in my hand. In Liverpool, I held it in my hand in the Apple store and the 3 store. But yeah, there's a lot of stories going around about these new Apple iPhones at the minute that people are a bit concerned about it. The most concerning thing about it recently is overheating. Just a reports dropped here this morning saying Apple has blamed the bug in this operating system and updates to apps such as Instagram for its new iPhone 15, which can cause overheating. Since the latest model of the smartphone went on sale in September, some users have complained that the devices are getting too hot to touch. Apple's now come out and said there was a bug when operating the ISO 17 on the phone, but it's now also claimed that changes to the third-party apps are causing them to overload the system. iPhone users have come to expect the devices to become hotter during the initial setup or when they are being backed up due to the amount of processing power being used to the handset working overtime. But these issues with the iPhone 15 have now been worse. Users took to social media to complain about the new phones that were overheating and seizing. It's all down to this new operating system iPhone ISO 17, which I updated to the other day on my iPhone 13 Pro Max. It said there's obviously a lot of issues with the apps, with the updates as well, and obviously the operating system inside the phone, which then could cause further problems with it. Now, whether this is true or not, I don't know, because again, guys, everybody has different experiences with different devices. But again, you know what it's like when a new item comes out on the market. People always like to post their reviews on it online now and talk about different things that it's good for it and bad for it, etc., etc., etc. But at the end of the day, guys, you know, there's a lot of, like, even the city of Lewis came in the other day and said, Dad, even the phones, it's not even, like, you can actually break the back of it so easily. People are bending it, it's breaking so easily. Who the fuck's going to buy a phone stand bending anyway? I don't sit there and bend my phone. Like, what fucking stupid idiot is going to pick up a phone and start bending it to see what's its durability and breaking it? Unless you're like one of these big fucking multi-millionaire reviewers on YouTube or something like that, and you can get paid a fortune. You can buy 10 iPhones in one purchase because you have more money than sense. But if you're like little Joe Blogs like me, who's going to buy a £1,200 phone, you're not going to stand there and try and bend it and break it just to see, oh, what if I put this on the internet? No, you're going to try and don't bend the phone. Just keep it normally in your pocket like I do. But again, people are talking about this iPhone 15, about it overheating, and other people I've seen have it, saying, you know, it's a good phone. My view on it, do I have the iPhone 15? Go watch the vlog. But yeah, it's in the news, guys. People are saying about the operating system. Now, here's the thing. I got my mum a new iPhone the other day for the first time, which, by the way, was a little bit of a fucking nightmare. I done a vlog on that too as well, which is going to be coming out. Jesus Christ. Trying to teach our older ones, old generation, with iPhones is just mind-boggling. I got mum a new iPhone. I got her an SE 2022. I was going to get her an iPhone 12 or 13, but she didn't want to pay the difference of an extra £5 a month to get a better phone. But she just, this is mum. So I got her a new iPhone, and it took a while to get her there, but she's getting there slowly but surely. Had to go back round on Sunday afternoon because I gave it to her. She got it on Friday. Give it to her on Friday night, or Friday after she got it, sorry. Then I tried ringing her on Saturday. I gave her a wee FaceTime call to say, how are you getting on with your new phone stuff? And she couldn't answer the phone. And then I kept ringing her and she wouldn't answer the phone. And the phone went off. And then I finally got hold of her on Saturday night. And she was like, this fucking iPhone's driving me mad. I can't even get off the screen, and it won't swipe up, and I'm on Facebook and it won't close the app, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I can't even get on to my internet on it and all. It's driving me nuts. And I'm like, I bet you I walk into your house tomorrow and just literally open the phone, swipe up the screen, that's it. And that was the case. Trust me, watch the vlog. You'll understand. Not taking the piss or nothing out of her. It's just mum gets very frustrated when it comes to technology. Like Amazon Fire Sticks, if an app needs updated, she would ring you and go, can you come around and tune my TV in for me? And I'm going, you don't tune in fucking TVs anymore. It's like, but I have to get that. And then she calls when she's on a Fire Stick, like watching Netflix or whatever it is she's watching. She would then turn around to my dad and go, turn that ordinary TV back on again. Like, put on the ordinary TV, Sky TV, put the ordinary TV back on. Like, what the fuck is ordinary TV? I say to her, what is ordinary TV? Oh, just that ordinary TV, that normal TV. But what? I'm like, oh my fucking God almighty. And then whenever the Fire Stick needs an update or something that's running slow, can you come around and tune that in for me? It's like, Mum, you don't tune things in anymore. You know, it's not 1992 where you have to tune in TV channels. There's no talking to her. Bless her heart. Oh dear, the older generation, I tell you, they make you laugh sometimes, so they really do. But yeah, I had to go around and get her phone sorted out for her on Sunday, which was a fun experience. But anyway, she's got an iPhone. Hopefully over the next few weeks she'll have the full swing of it. Now I saw a nice wee thing today. Before I go in to talk about the celebrity stuff going for sale, wee thing here in Northern Ireland, which I thought was lovely, to help with the elderly tackle loneliness. Because we all know, guys, whenever you get older and stuff, and you know your family grow up and they move away, or you can see people out there, for example, say they lose a partner, they pass away after being with each other for so long, and obviously you get a bit of loneliness and stuff like that. There's a nice wee thing here going on here in Northern Ireland. There's a train from Londonderry to Coleraine has been announced to help combat loneliness amongst the elderly people. It's called the Chat T train. So the over 60s take a unique train journey to help promote Positive Aging Month. It's set up to help elderly people who are struggling with loneliness. And from what I can read through the article here this morning and seen some of the pictures as well, they're like putting on a wee bit of like music, for example, like playing guitars, and people meeting up from different, obviously from the same sort of age, over 60s, of course, you know, to make new friends and help, you know, get them away from that period of being lonely on their own, whether it be because of a loss of a partner or just generally being on their own or whatever it is. You know, it's set up to help these people in different situations, to help them try to get out more and try and mix with other people, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Hats off to the people who organised this. Fair play to them, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of people out there who are lonely and who are on their own and they are struggling, you know, and wee things like this I see great happening, because there's a lot of people out there who are on their own and won't leave the house and go and, you know, mix with new people because they're so used to being on their own. And it's not even that, they're even more so since that whole COVID nonsense, where people are isolated more now and people are even still afraid to leave the house. For example, the couple I spoke about a few weeks ago who lived not too far from me, who still, by the way, I saw them on Sunday. I walked past their house on Sunday and saw the guy standing in his living room cleaning his windows with a fucking mask on. Yeah, they haven't left their house in 3 years. Now, they're not elderly, they're young, fit and healthy people, but again, I talked about that before. But the point is, there's people out there who were lonely on their own, like elderly people who are now even more lonely because they've been locked in the house for so long. And now things like this are set up to try and encourage people to get out more, you know, and especially the older generation, which is great to see, you know, because there's a lot of elderly people out there who are on their own and are lonely and need that bit of like friendship or companionship or whatever. And it's good to see wee things like this here set up for retrain journey. And from what I can see through the photographs here, which is brilliant, you can see them all like sitting singing and, you know, having cups of tea and just mixing with each other. And I think it's like I even see ones out here on as well doing a bit of dancing on the train as well, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And it's great to see things like that set up for the older generation here in Northern Ireland. And hats off to everybody who organised that. Fair play to you. I really do respect that. Here's the thing, guys. I want to just talk about this briefly before I go into some of your questions on the podcast today. I can't believe I've been speaking for 35 minutes already. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, all these things you see popping up in like auctions and stuff recently, you know, the likes of memorabilia items from the likes of TV shows, movies, celebrities and whatnot. And two particular things caught my eye recently. One being one of the outfits that Leonardo DiCaprio wore in the movie Titanic. And there's one of his outfits where he's wearing his braces and his cream trousers, and I think was it a white shirt? I think it was. And that's going up for auction, starting around about a price of around about $150,000. Was it dollars or pounds? I think, not too sure. And also an outfit from James Bond, Roger Moore's collection. A suit that was made for him. I'm trying to find out what movie it was from. Oh yeah, from the movie A View to Kill, which marks the 50th anniversary. First appearance as his first appearance as 007. It's going to be possibly going for nearly $1 million fucking for an outfit. I was like, wow. You see all this memorabilia stuff going on, these different auctions and stuff, but them two recently I saw pop up the last couple of days. I mean, 150 grand starting bid for Leonardo DiCaprio's outfit from Titanic. Like, obviously it's an iconic movie, we all know that. I remember when it first came out, I went to the cinema to watch it that time. Myself, my cousin and our friend went with two girls, and this was like 1997 when this came out, guys. I remember this like it was yesterday. And we were sitting there, and obviously the girls were crying, and the part when Jack died, and you know, the two other guys I was with, one being my cousin, they were pissing themselves laughing, and I'm just sort of sitting there, piggy in the middle, she would say. I was sitting in the middle, looking at the boys and looking at the girls, and going, "It's a great movie, like." But I was kind of annoyed at the boys because they were taking the piss, but then the girls didn't really bother me because obviously I knew the girls were going to get a bit emotional because obviously back in them days, Leonardo DiCaprio, girls used to think he was one of the hottest men in the world back then. Cause I remember girls saying like, "Oh my god, he's so hot," and I love his hair and I love his smile, and I'm like, okay. But yeah, I remember going to see that movie. But that outfit from that movie apparently to be starting at around about 150 grand for an outfit, which is absolutely insane. I've seen loads of other different items you see going out throughout the years, like Elvis costumes and rock star guitars and musical items and all these different things. It's just mad to see how much money these things go for. I recently saw Freddie Mercury, was it an outfit? I think it was one of his outfits, went for over £1 million for an outfit. I'm like, holy shit. It's crazy the amount of money these outfits go for, especially when the person's no longer around anymore. It's like memorabilia of someone, and once they pass away or whatever, it's worth even more money. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Give you an example. I've mentioned it in my vlog a couple of times. I love collecting those Funko Pop things for WWE because I'm obviously a wrestling fan, and I have two particular ones. And once that person passed away, the value has just went through the roof. And then recently when that wrestler died as well, Bray Wyatt, the wrestler guy from WWE, passed away there a few weeks ago. The valuation of his pop toys went through the roof. Some people just like take the piss though, when they have things that are worth average amount of money, and then all of a sudden, as soon as the person passes away, they think, "Oh, I'm going to make a profit on this," which I think is ridiculous. But at the end of the day, overall valuation of items that are, like, there's obviously iconic stuff out there, that are worth a fortune. Stuff from the likes of Michael Jackson and, all these different singers that are like Freddie Mercury from Queen and all these different people. Like Elton John outfits I've seen going for fucking crazy money. Glasses from Elton John went for fucking ludicrous money. But I just want to saw that there, obviously, with being the 50th anniversary of Sir Rogers, obviously debuting in James Bond. The outfit's going for crazy money. It's just absolutely. You wonder where the money comes from. And there's people out there that buy it. There's people out there who would pay the money for it. I obviously would love to have something to do with Freddie Mercury, but again, the money for his stuff is just insane. Apparently there's a place you can go to. I can't remember exactly where it is, but you can actually go and see some of his outfits. But those outfits are worth, I'd say, millions. So they are. But there you are. To any Titanic or Leonardo DiCaprio fans out there, if you've got a spare 150 grand lying around your pocket and you want to buy one of his outfits from Titanic, get your wallet out. Because that's exactly that's the starting price. It can end up being more, I don't know. But if it was a James Bond fan and you had plenty of money, that'd be an outfit to Cordy have anyway, I tell you, for free. But anyway, yes guys, that is basically a wee quick chat today for you. I want to get into some of your questions here now as well. I'm just opening up the email here. You should probably hear my mouse clicking in the background. Actually forgot to open up the emails before I come in today. I told you I'm disorganized today, guys. I'm all over the show. Right, here we go. Right, I'll go to the email first of all, which is moorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. gmail.com. Right, let's have a wee nosy here and see. Right. First one today is from Louise on the email. It says, "Hi Matthew, love listening to your podcast. I was wanting to see if you could possibly give my husband, Harry, a birthday shout out for this coming Wednesday. He turns 38 and I was wanting to see if you could possibly give him a big happy birthday. He loves watching all your videos, especially your Liverpool videos with your son. Can you possibly give him a big shout out on his birthday? Thank you very much for reading my message, Louise." Okay, well, happy birthday, Harry. Hope you have a great birthday. Thank you for being a big fan of the channel. I do appreciate it. As always, I always tell everybody I do appreciate everything you do for me and my family. So yes, I hope your partner spoiled you rotten. And obviously you like my Liverpool videos, so I assume you're a Liverpool fan. If you are, good man. Good to see you supporting a good team. But yeah, happy birthday, my friend. I hope you have a great day. I hope she spoiled you rotten. Let me know how your day went. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for watching all the videos. I do appreciate it. So happy birthday from me to you. I would sing to you, but I sound horrible this morning. And I'm not going to sing to you. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Thanks for the support, guys. Do appreciate it. Right, let's get into another one here. Let's have a look. One here from Nina. Is it Nina? N-I-N-A. It's Nina. Nina has... I'm just trying to see if she's wrote in the bottom where she's from. Guys, I keep saying to you, tell me where you're from. I'd love to know where you're from so I can... Because there's this name Nina. Obviously, it's not it could be Stephen or whatever. There's a million Stephens in the world, or it could be 1,000 Ninas in the world. I don't know. Just tell me where you're from. I'd like to know where you're from. But anyway, Nina writes, saying, "Hello Matthew, how you doing? Just wanted to ask you a quick question for your podcast." Okay. She goes on here to say, "Have you ever been to any of the Scandinavian countries? Myself and my sister travelled across the Scandinavian countries last summer and we had an absolute brilliant time. I want to know if you've ever been to any of the countries in Scandinavia, the likes of Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Iceland, etc. If so, can you please share some of your stories with us on the podcast? Love listening to every single week and keep up the good work." Okay. Have I ever been to any of the Scandinavian countries? No. But my dad has. My dad went to Norway back in the early 70s. Was it the early 70s? Maybe 71, 72? No, hold on, let me think. No, not that early. Fucking kill me for saying that. I would say I think Dad was about 8 or 9 when he went to it. He went on a cross-community trip to Norway back in late 70s, maybe. I'd say mid to late 70s. I think Dad was around about, I'd say about 9 or 10 at the time. Maybe more, don't know. No, I would say he's way older than that, actually. I'm trying to think, because Dad was born, no, it was probably the early 70s, because Dad was born in 59, so Dad was probably 13 or 14 years of age. He tells me a story all the time, and apparently his photograph and all was in the local paper, which I'm going to try and find someday and dig it out and try and get it through a couple of contacts I know in the local papers and stuff, that Dad's photograph was in that paper. But no, Dad went there to Norway, and he always said to me, he always remembers it was always cold and the snow was terrible and everything else. Me personally, I've never been there, Nina. Never been there in my life. Something funny enough, you mentioned these countries. Whenever I was with Sam at the time, we talked about going to places like that because of all the sightseeing and all the wonderful views and the different things you can do in those beautiful countries, the likes of Iceland and all those different beautiful countries, Denmark and Sweden, stuff like that. We talked about that, but obviously, unfortunately, it didn't happen because of COVID lockdowns, and then obviously we're no longer together anymore, which is the thing. But it's just some of those countries I just love to visit, because apparently there's some beautiful, beautiful sights there. I've met people from the likes of Denmark. I've met people from Finland, and I've met people from Iceland and stuff like that there by working in football and whatnot, but I've never been there. So, but I hope you girls had a great time travelling all around there, because you're so lucky, because I wish I could have went. It would have been great. So, but thank you for your question. I do appreciate it. It means a lot, and thank you for supporting the podcast. Right, let's get in here and see now. Right, I've one here from Graham. Graham writes to me. Where's Graham from? Graham's from Blackburn. Hello, Graham from Blackburn. How are you? Hi, Matthew. I just wanted to share my story with you, as I know you like to read out some stories from people who are struggling or trying to turn their lives around. I did currently weigh 24 stone of weight, and I have now dropped down to 16 stone of weight due to walking a lot during the COVID lockdowns, changing my diet, and positive thinking. I unfortunately lost my wife due to a marital breakup a few years before COVID, and I let myself slide into a deep depression where I ate and drank a load of crap every day. But during the COVID lockdown made me realise that I would not let myself slip away into an early grave, so I decided to get myself up and get some exercise and start to move. I have now lost all this weight and feel so much more better for it. After listening to your podcast over the last couple of months and hearing different stories from different people, I thought I would finally have the courage to share my story with you and your listeners. I hope you don't mind me sharing this story, but I like to try and encourage people that no matter how bad your situation is, no matter how bad things are going in your life, you can turn your life around for the positive. I hope you're keeping well, Matthew, and I enjoy listening to your podcast every single week. And that was from Graham in Blackburn. Wow. Here, listen, I'm going to put the mic down here a sec. I'll stand away from the mic here and give you a round of applause. Losing all that weight, man. Fair play to you. Fair play to you. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, I know what it's like, man, when you lose a wife and stuff like that, or when marriage breaks up and stuff, and you do get into deep depression, because it did happen to me for a long time. I know exactly what it's like. But yeah, fair play to you. You got up and you moved on and you got yourself sorted and you got all that weight off. Listen, man, keep going. Fair play to you. Yeah, you are a star, and thank you for sharing your story. I do appreciate it. Again, I keep saying this, I appreciate it. Guys, you don't understand how much I do appreciate actually these stories you send in to me every week. You know, and I want to write back a message here too, Graham, saying to him, you know, obviously saying well done to him, but wow, all that weight, gee whiz, that's a lot of weight. Fair play to you. So it is, so fair play to you. Thank you for sharing your story. I'll do one more email before I go on to the social media, guys, because obviously I want to answer the Instagram and the Facebook. I can't even speak there. I wasn't going to say Twitter, by the way, because you know I'm not on that. Right, let's get into another one here on the old email. Let's have a look and see what I've got here. Okay, one here from David from Gloucestershire. Hello, David. How are you today? Thank you for your email. It says, hi, Matthew. I just wanted to share my story with you, as since the age of 3, I've always wanted to become a train driver. I am currently 16 years of age and currently at college in England and travel through my favourite train station in Gloucestershire every single day. But since I was a little boy, I've always had a passion for trains. I've always wanted to drive them since I was a little boy. Growing up in school throughout the years, people used to make fun of me because I had a passion for trains. Used to make fun of me and mock me and call me all certain types of names like creep, retard and more. Names that I don't want to say here on this email because I don't want to hear you read them out and get your podcast taken off the air. Before I continue on, you can say whatever you want in this podcast because it's unleashed, remember. But I'm now 16 years of age, and hopefully once I finish college, I want to become a train driver, as I've always had a passion for trains. My grandfather used to take me to trains all the time when I was a little boy, and when he passed away when I was 10 years of age, I always said to myself since I was a little boy to my parents that one day I would fulfill my dream for my grandfather and become a train driver. I just wanted to share my story with you. Also, have you ever been to Gloucestershire in your life? If you have, and I am a train driver in the future, it would be my honour to travel with you on a train one day. Thank you for your podcast every week. It helps me get through my days, sometimes through bad days, good days, and also I listen to you while I'm studying as well. And that comes from Gloucestershire. David from Gloucestershire. Wow, what a story. David, listen, I've said this to many people on this podcast, you know, whether they have passions about things or they've been bullied or picked on or whatever it is, I always tell people on this podcast to be themselves. And the reason why I do that every week is because, guys, I've been through it too as well. I was badly bullied as well when I was a small boy, from primary school, even as far back as nursery school, right through primary school, right through secondary school, until one day I had enough. Now, to be honest with you, in recent years, obviously you all know through my story of my YouTube channel, where we've had obviously a lot of hate and a lot of people who don't like me and, mock me and take the piss out of me and all the time. And to be honest with you, I couldn't get, my attitude is, I don't care anymore. My attitude towards is, if people don't like me, then that's their decision. I even pass that knowledge on to my children to this day and say to them, be yourself. As long as you're happy within yourself, then listen, that's all that matters. Who cares what other people think? Who really cares what other people think? Listen, David, at the end of the day, if this is your passion since you were a little boy, and even your grandfather obviously knew that when he was alive, and I'm sorry to hear about his passing, if this is what you want to do, then go ahead and do it. I talked about this before my recent podcast with my friend, my girl Sophie, who made me that Liverpool gift that I shared in my vlog a few years ago. I still have that to this day. She's a passion for trains and all different types of travel, like boats and things like that as well. And I've said to her the same thing I'm going to tell you. Go and do it. If you want to be a train driver, do it. If you have a passion for things in life, do it. Who cares what other people thinks? At the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, people who laugh at you probably have a fucking sad life themselves. Bullies always have a sad life themselves. And the main word I always use for it is, with bullies, is jealousy. You know what I mean? So, listen, if you want to be a train driver, go and do it. Now, answer your question, well, I've never been to Gloucestershire, and I've heard that Gloucestershire's a lovely place as well, and I've never been to in my life. But at the end of the day, if this is what you want to do with your life, then go and do it. You're serving a good purpose to the community by being a train driver, by getting people from A to B, whether it be to work or just general travel or whatever it is. Look, listen, don't listen to them. Send them my way and I'll put them fucking straight, and I'll tell them, hey, you on your bike, leave this guy alone. At the end of the day, this is what this guy wants to do. It's none of your business what this guy wants to do. Go you and pursue your career by being a moron. So, listen, thank you for your email. My advice to you is, go and do it. Make your granda proud. Because obviously he was the one that took you to the trains when you were a small boy. And he's passed away a few years now, and unfortunately I'm sorry to hear about that. But if that's what you want to do in your life, to do that in honour of your grandfather as well, then go and do it. Never mind what anybody else says to you. Screw them. Get up and do it. Go and do what you want to do. Live your life. Be free. Do it. Go and do what you wanted to do since you were a little boy. Keep me posted how you're getting on, by the way, because you said you're still very young now. So, look, listen, get whatever it is you're doing in your life, get all your studies out of the way and get your grades, whatever it is, and then go and do what you want to do. Pursue your career, because at the end of the day, David, life is too short. Live your life, and at the end of the day, you want to be living your life, and you want to look back on your life in 50, 40, 50, 60 years from now and go, I did that, that's what I wanted to do. And I'm telling you that because I didn't do the things that I wanted to do, because I put my life on hold for a lot of different reasons. And most importantly was being a parent, because obviously I probably well know what I've brought Brooke and Lewis basically up on my own now the last 11 years or so. But I'm starting to make up for lost time now, because my kids are now older and I've got through all that. And there's a lot of other reasons why I didn't do it, because I've never talked about, guys. It's quite personal. But I always tell people, look, listen, go and do it. If that's what you want to do. If you got enough passion and you're determined to do something, you're willing to do anything you can to do it, go and do it. So yes, keep me posted how you're getting on. I'd love to hear more about it. And if I'm ever in Gloucestershire and ever you do become a train driver, then maybe one day we'll stand on the platform together and take a picture and have a chat. And I'll be able to share it with all my lovely listeners. So keep going, be strong, and keep going at it. Thank you for your email. Anyway, let's move on to some of the old social media or platforms. We've got Facebook, first of all. I'll answer one from Facebook, I'll answer two from Instagram, and then I'll wrap it up for today, guys, because I've got quite a busy day ahead of me today. I got loads of work on this afternoon, and I've also got football tonight, and I got loads of stuff on too as well. Plus I got to get 2 vlogs out today as well. Right, moving on into the old Facebook. Let's have a look here and see. Right, I've one on Facebook here from Robert. Robert, where's he from? Does it say where he's from? It doesn't say. No. Robert writes to me, "Hi Matthew, I keep seeing in the news all the time about corrupt police officers. I know you mentioned it on your podcast a few months ago about police officers continuously being arrested and charged for different things, especially during the COVID lockdowns as well. I personally do not feel safe with the police being around these days, especially after hearing recent stories where police in England were handing in their weapons because they were afraid of the terrorism and acts that are going on in the world right now." Terrorism and acts? Well, I've heard about the gun things. I don't know about the terrorism things. That's what he writes in his email here. "What's your view on current police in your country? I currently live on the outskirts of London and I'm very terrified as well as I find police now are very corrupt and very unsafe to be around." Okay, fair enough. Right, okay, Robert. I did hear a few stories about the police handling their weapons recently. I think it was all to do with something about, I don't know, they were doing it in protest or something. I don't know the ins and outs of it, to be quite honest with you. Yes, but I've heard about all the different stories about police officers, corrupt police officers being caught out doing things on the likes of WhatsApp group chats and obviously killing people, and all different recent officers have been locked away in jail and fired from their jobs, and all the stuff going over here in Northern Ireland too as well about the whole police information being released, leaked, should we say, as well. I look at it being a police officer nowadays in two ways. And this is my view on it, and I'll be totally honest with you. I wouldn't like to be a police officer nowadays because, I mean, I know a few police officers personally, and speaking to them, they have said to me, you know, their job is getting more and more difficult every single day of the week. In relation to dealing with certain situations and dealing with certain people, you can't say a certain thing now, you can't deal with it a certain way because of all the new rules and regulations in the world now. And you know, I was actually having a conversation there a couple of weeks ago with a friend of mine. He was saying, you know, he thinks the police are getting too soft now. I mean, back in my day, growing up as a kid, I mean, you were fucking shit scared of the policemen or police officers. You saw a police officer coming towards you, you shit your pants and you run a mile because you knew if you stepped out of line, they would have whooped your ass and took you home, and then your parents would have whooped your ass as well. And that's why I've always brought up my kids to be respectful towards the police officers in this world, because my two see a policeman, they automatically go, "Oh, sugar," right? The respect tag goes on, unlike some teenagers nowadays just stand there and go, "I don't give a shit, policeman, what are you going to do?" My kids are respectful and they're like, "Okay, officer, yes sir." You know, I brought them up to be respectful towards the law. But it's just, it's hard to explain now, 'cause I mean, I've heard about all these different stories popping up in the news, you know, about police officers being charged with doing inappropriate things and all these different things, and it's just, it's hard to, it's a conversation I would love to have with, you know, it's a hard one, it's a tough one to explain. I mean, I know a lot of police officers out there who are good at their job and they are legitimately fantastic police officers, but at the end of the day, you do hear about all these different stories about different police officers being charged and corrupt and all that stuff, but then it's a tough one. You've boggled my brain today, so you have, with that message, you really have. I need more fucking coffee. No, it's a bit of a strange one, because again, you hear more and more of these stories coming up and stuff, but you know, I one of my good friends from school, his dad was a police officer, and he was an old school police officer. I mean, he didn't take no shit, even when we were kids and all too. When I used to go to his house, his dad was really strict, really old school police officers, and you know, and talking to ex cops and all now too as well, they're all saying like today's police force are too soft, and you know, and again, speaking with recent police officers too, they're saying they're making their job more difficult, and it's harder to police more now, because you can't say a certain thing, you can't do a certain thing now because of all these new different things the way the world is going now. And again, I would fit a cop or a police officer in the same category as a school teacher. I would not like to be there in their job today. It would be so difficult to be a police officer or even a school teacher now because of all these new things that are going on in the world, where you can't say this and you can't do that and you can't, you know, it makes the job so much difficult. But in my experience with police officers over the years, old school police officers, I remember seeing back in the day when I was a young kid growing up in Belfast, like young lads who were stepping out of line, who were needing to be arrested or taken home. Police officers literally throwing them in the back of the van, kicking the shit out of them, putting them back out in the street, taking them back to their parents, and their parents were kicking the shit out of them afterwards. Or if I saw a policeman coming back in the day, I shit my pants, because I automatically thought, oh crap, policeman, shit, what do I do? Where now this generation just sort of walks around and goes, whatever. So you've boggled my brain today, so you have that message. So thanks for that. I definitely need more fucking coffee. Thanks for the message. I do appreciate it, as always. Right, let's get into Instagram. This is the one here where I love Instagram. Instagram's just flooded with messages every week. Love hearing from you all on Instagram. So you do. So right, let's get in here. One here and see now. One here from Rachel. Rachel here on Instagram, and let's click to see where she's from. Rachel is from Glasgow. She's a Scottish girl from Glasgow. Hello, how are you today? All the way up there in cold Glasgow. I'm heard it's ball freezing over there at the moment. She was on the right to me here saying, "Hi Matthew, I know you've been talking about on your podcast recently now and again about politics. I'm not a big fan of politics myself, but I've been listening to your podcast since the very start, and I know you were taking the piss out of Nicola Sturgeon. All I can say is I totally agree with everything she says, and I'm so glad she's not involved anymore. Where I live in Glasgow, we all hate this woman so badly, and we're so glad that she's not involved in politics anymore. Can I ask you a question? Who do you vote for in your country of Northern Ireland? Do you even vote at all? We've stopped voting because of the corruption in politics, especially over the last 5 to 10 years. We take nothing more to do with it at all because we do not believe a word that comes out of any of their mouths. Can I have your thoughts on this, please?" Well, to be honest with you, I don't vote anymore. I've never voted. I don't believe politicians. I sometimes dip my head into the water and say, right, what's going on here? What's going about here at the minute? But any sort of things worth listening to? Nah, nothing. I've never voted. And I've said this before in the podcast, and I've had a couple of people actually remember writing me messages about saying, like, why don't you vote? Your vote's, important and things like that. Every year, guys, I get politicians coming to my door around election time saying, "Would you vote for this one?" And I sort of go, "Nope, I don't vote for anybody." And they go, "Why not?" And I said, "Because you don't do nothing for me." And it's as simple as that. I've asked MPs before to help me with certain situations and things like that, and you haven't done nothing for me, so I'm sorry. It doesn't happen for me, so I don't vote. I don't get involved in politics. But yes, we haven't talked about old Jeanette McCranky, as I call her, Nicola Sturgeon, in quite a long time, actually. I haven't really heard much about her lately now, since all that controversy she was going through recently. I think she's maybe hiding under a rock now. But you're not the only person from Scotland who doesn't like her. I know that for a fact. So, yeah, she is not a very popular person. I wasn't a big fan of hers as well, especially in the last recent years when you see her coming on the television and those poor Scottish people have all the crap that she put them through recently and all the controversy that she was going through as well, with money going missing and all that shit. So, yeah, I would tend to agree with you. She's not a very nice person, and to be quite honest with you, I have no interest in her at whatsoever. So, yeah, I'm sure you're not the only person in Scotland don't like her. But, yes, thank you for your message today again. And thank you for listening to the podcast. But no, I haven't spoken about her in a long time, actually. I'm kind of glad I haven't spoken about her because she's not really my cup of tea, to be quite honest. Anyway, let's go on to one more Instagram message before I head off down the road here today. Right, let's get in here and see. This is what I love about Instagram, guys. Like, when I switch one of my message requests every week, you always send me lovely messages, and obviously get the occasional wee numpty come in as well, like saying they don't like me and stuff, but it's understandable. I don't really give a shit, to be quite honest with you, but there we go. Right, I've one here from Terence. Terence is from, where's he from? Derry. Hello, Terence from Derry. Derry, that's over here in Northern Ireland. Hello, Terence from Derry, or Londonderry as some people call it. Terence says, "Hey Matthew, love your podcast every week, but I can just ask you as well, what is with you not liking Boris Johnson so much? I'm not a big fan of his either, but my God, you clearly slate him a lot on your podcast all the time. You've even named your donkey after him on Jackass of the Week on Thursday. I know he's a bit of a numpty, but my goodness me, you never stop going on about him all the time." That's what he writes. Okay. I don't really speak about Boris anymore, to be honest with you. And I think I explained this like a week or two ago. Like when I had another person coming in saying like I was being like horrible because I named the donkey Boris after Boris Johnson. I explained this like Terence a few weeks ago. Yeah, because I asked the people of the public, what should we call the donkey? And some of you were coming in calling him Sleepy Joe or Joe Biden. Some of you wanting to call him Donald Trump. Some of you wanting to call him, all different things. And not majority, but most of the people said Boris Johnson, or not particularly Boris Johnson, just Boris the donkey. So I hope that clears that up for you. Why I always seem to go on and slate him so much. I did at the start of this podcast where I was exposing him for all the crap that he was speaking to us, but I don't really speak about him very much, to be quite honest, anymore. So, no, I tend to disagree with that one. But yeah, that's the reason why I'm calling him Boris, because people wanted to call him Boris, and I asked for how many weeks did I let that go for? 3-4 weeks maybe? Let me know what and I sat and went through most of them and said, look, there's Boris again, and okay, there's Joe Biden, and then somebody wanted to call the donkey Meghan, as in Harry's wife Meghan. He's all wanted to call a different name, but Boris seemed to be the most thing because he said he was the biggest jackass walking in the UK because of all the crap during COVID and all the shit that he went through as Prime Minister and all that shit. So I hope that clears it up for you once again, but I don't really ramble on about him that much anymore, to be quite honest with you. I really don't. So, but listen, thank you for listening to the podcast. Again, thank you so much. And I was down your neck of the woods a few weeks ago, so if you're ever, I remember down around that area again, I ever run into you, I'll have an RB chat with you and we'll have a wee debate about it all, and we'll maybe have a cup of tea over it or something, or a cool beer, whatever. There you go. Well, right, guys, that's going to bring us to the end of this podcast for today. It's a bit of a head mangling one today because I'm sort of like still a bit groggy and a bit tired and sort of need more coffee and need to give myself a good shake because I'm just sort of still sitting here this morning. Normally when I come on the podcast on the morning times, I'm normally and then by the time I finish the podcast, I'm coming off the air full of adrenaline and happy and, all sort of like, yeah, that's my day, I'm ready for my day and all now, but I'm just feeling a bit tired today and a bit run down, but hopefully after an hour of coffee and get myself sorted by the end of today, and hopefully the Welders win tonight. By the way, we're football tonight, guys. The Welders are playing Newry City in the League Cup tonight, so if you're about, obviously listened to this podcast before tonight, if you're in Belfast and you want to nip in for a good game of League Cup football on Tuesday night under the lights, come and see us on tonight. Kick off 7:45pm. Or if you are about Belfast at the weekend, we are homing at the weekend against Knockbreda. So if you're wanting for a bit of football, Irish League football at the weekends, come along on Saturday. Kick off 3pm at Blanchflower Stadium in Belfast. I'd love to see us all there. So I've seen a lot of you turn up at the games over the last few weeks and come and said hello. So it's obviously great to hear from you. Coming up on Thursday's podcast, guys, we've got the usual stuff coming in. We're going to talk about some stuff that's been going on in the world. We're obviously got the Jackass of the Week coming up this week as well. So if you have any suggestions for that, who should be the Jackass of the Week for this week, get in contact with me by the old email, we'reonlypodcast@yahoo.com, or you can contact me on the old social media. I would appreciate it. So keep your questions coming in, guys, because I love hearing from you every single week, and I love hearing your different different stories that you share with me and different things you want to hear me talking about and stuff. So I love hearing from you every single week. It's really great to hear from you. But anyway, I'm going to go here now and get on with my day. So until Thursday, I will see you back here. Stay tuned for those 2 vlogs dropping. Some should be hopefully today. At least one of them will be dropping today. And I've got another couple of good things coming up on the channel over the next few weeks as well. So stay tuned for that too. Now, here's the thing before I go. I was given an offer to go back to Liverpool this week for the Europa League game on Thursday night. Liverpool are home in the Europa League on Thursday night, but I decided to decline it, guys. Because, I've got a lot of things on at the minute as well. I'm getting work done in my house too, and I'm just flat out with work and other different things as well. So, somebody's were asking me in the Instagrams, because I was checking a few there last night about me going to the Europa League games this year. As you all know, I always go to the Champions League games every single year, the home games at Anfield, but I was supposed to go to the game this Thursday, but I decided against it this time because honestly, guys, I've so much on at the minute and I wouldn't have enough time to get stuff done. So I'll be doing a live reaction video though, so stay tuned for that coming up on the channel on Thursday night. So should be fun. Right, guys, I'm going to go, so I will see you back here on Thursday for another episode of the Miranda Podcast. Enjoy your Tuesday, enjoy your Wednesday, and I will see you back here for another episode of the Mirror Army Podcast. So until Thursday, guys, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you all then. Thanks for listening.